Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Caricature, and welcome back to my manic, mystical, and magical little review show, Very Slay, where we go over each and every one of the runway looks of Drag Race Belgique Season 2. Boy oh boy am I excited for this episode because it is only 9 looks that I have to talk about, and that is it. This is a particularly busy week, as I'm sure you've probably noticed or heard by now from me, but this is the easy episode for me, so I am so ready to dive into these looks that they had to make this week, all based off of a monochromatic color that they were assigned at random. I really appreciate that the running order for this week's looks were based on the colors that they all had. So it was bookended with black and white, and we went from red to pink in between. So it was lovely, very, very cute. They looked great on stage standing in that particular order. For anyone who doesn't know the format by now, if I think a look is just fine, we give it an okay. If I love a look, we give it a slay. And if I don't like a look, we give it a big ol' nay. I would waggle my finger, but it's kind of hard to do with the nail on, so you just get this. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into all of these looks. First up in an all black ensemble is Morphe. Love this makeup. I think my favorite part of this whole look is the neckline in the back. It's this really high arched scoop that I think is really cool, really interesting. I really like her texture play all throughout this with this really harsh, kind of leathery, really tough to work with fabric. The feather trim, the feather detailing. I think the headpiece hair treatment is a little strange, but ultimately I think this is a successful look. Totally see why she was saved. And I think this definitely has some early 2000s high fashion runway energy. A little bit of Alexander McQueen, just like a slight little touch of Dior, but like the Galliano Dior era. I really like this a lot. I'm gonna give it a slay. Next up in red is Chloe Clark. I think her biggest detriment to this is this nude lapel that she has. Why is that there? Just why? It makes no sense. It throws off the entire proportion of the look. It makes the whole piece look significantly worse than it is. I think in general, the construction on it is fine. It's just kind of a ho-hum bland outfit. It's nothing exciting. It's nothing new. If Chloe was not skinny, if she was not pretty and she didn't have good hair, she would have been red to filth for this and destroyed. So she got a pretty pass. In my opinion, I think she realistically should have been the one who went home, as much as I like her. I didn't like this. I thought it was really basic, really bland. She picked some weird material to work with. The proportions of the sleeve and the top half in particular is really clunky. It's not fitted well. And then on top of that, she's got big hair with this really boxy top half of the silhouette and then a quite boxy skirt at the same time. It's all a bit too big for her frame. Ultimately, it comes down to her not knowing how to sew or construct garments for her body. But either way, it is such a miss. Absolutely giving this an A. Up next in orange, we have Alvida. I honestly thought she was going to be in the bottom because I did not enjoy this. I think she sold it in the performance. I liked the concept of the hair, but I think the styling on it is a little messy, especially around the sides. I do like the little black streak though. That's a nice touch. I think the mesh boa thing that she had is a good idea as a detail given what they had to work with, but the way she did it, it's so minuscule, it's so bare bones, and it has next to no impact in my opinion, unless she's just standing there. When she has it a bit more extended or she's walking with it, I think it looks bad. I don't like this outfit from the front. I think realistically, the only good thing she had going for it with this outfit is how ridiculously long the train is and the cut on the neckline. Other than that, it's just not my fave. I wasn't impressed by it. I think her makeup looks great, so I'll give her that. But for me, I've also seen significantly worse, so I'm just gonna give this an okay. Next in yellow, we have Gabbana. I actually really like that she didn't go yellow, she went gold. This definitely gives disco. It definitely gives kind of a little bit of a 70s vibe in terms of the styling choices. But I think the makeup looks great here. I really like this hair color with the gold. It's a really great combo. I think it's a really flattering silhouette. I like the accessory detailing on this. I love the jewelry. Really flattering silhouette on her. And honestly, I was kind of surprised she wasn't in the top. I think I would have switched her and Alvida personally. So for me, definitely giving this a slay. Next in green, we have Sarah Logan. There's a lot of fit issues here. The panties are the big one, but I think she has a number of green tones going on that are all different. And then she's got this leaf motif in parts of it that's not really fleshed out that well. It just kind of feels like it's thrown on. I think the look would have been more successful had she gotten rid of like the Mother Nature elements of it and maybe downplayed details with the fabric treatment. I don't know. I just don't think that this does her any favors. I think the top half of this outfit really swallows her up. I think the hair color doesn't really go with the look because the look is a lot of like yellow based greens and her hair is more of a blue based green. So there's some clash there for me. I think her makeup looks nice though, and I'm sad to see her go, but I think given the look, I think she just had maybe one too many ideas. I don't know. I didn't find this outfit particularly great. I didn't find it particularly bad, but I also did not like it, so I'm giving it an A. Up next in blue, it's Madame Yoko. I have to say, I am quite impressed with her this week. So far, I haven't really liked all that much that she's done into this competition, but this, for me, this was great. This was very David Bowie. I got that image immediately upon seeing this, and I'm glad I'm not the only person who thought that. Loved this jacket treatment. I really liked how she played with the different blue tones and also the texture treatments between the matte fabrics and the shimmers. I loved this skirt. This skirt cape situation is my favorite part of this entire outfit. It's really beautiful on stage. It moves really well. It's draped right. And I definitely got like the little Prince inspiration point that she had for this. It was very much a menswear look, but still very feminine. And I think it still made sense with her aesthetic and her style. So for me, this was a significant slay. Up next in purple is La Veuve. I'm torn on this one because the dress itself I think is god-awful. It's too long. It's an ugly color fabric and the treatment of it is just way too plain. I get they made it in the workroom. They have limited resources. I think all things considered with that, it's not horrible. And I really liked this kind of Disney villain idea that she went with. It was giving very much Lady Tremaine. I loved this hair. The hair is my favorite part of the whole thing. I think her makeup looks good. She's very campy in how she performs on the runway, and you can tell she is a very seasoned entertainer. So I thought that was great, but she made the dress too long. She tripped on it. I thought the most interesting part of the dress was the like side fabric detailing with like the purple and gold bits. I liked that, but the rest of the dress was so drab and such kind of a sad color. I didn't enjoy that. The big mesh collar piece that wrapped around, that I did like, however. So for me, she's got enough stuff good and enough stuff that's bad about this. It's gonna balance out, and I'm gonna give her an okay. Up next is Star, coming out in pink. I loved the leather treatment on this and the coat half of this. So well done, very well tailored, well proportioned, looked great on her. I liked the hair choice, I liked the makeup. Very kind of classic Star that I've come to expect from her up to this point in the competition. The one thing I didn't like is this kind of like tank top cut that she had underneath on the other side of that look. I thought that part of it wasn't like the most flattering silhouette that she could have picked. This is definitely a look that fits right into the middle of the pack this week, so I'm gonna give her an okay. And finally, we have Lulu Velvet ending this runway in white. And I mean, there was really no other choice for who the winner could be this week. This is one of the most undisputed design challenges I have seen in any season of Drag Race. This look was miles ahead of everyone else. The silhouette of the skirt, it was detailed with all the pleats, but it also had this really nice lightness to it. It was great proportion, great sense of movement. The best part of this though is the shoulders and the sheer mesh that's over them to kind of have that level of transparency on the silhouette around the shoulder. It looked incredible on stage. It's just the right fit for her, just the right proportions for everything. I also really love that she didn't wear a wig this week because, you know, I famously don't myself. Her kind of buzzed lavender hair with this white veil in front of it and the makeup, it was so chic. Far and away the most fashionable look I've seen from anybody on this season so far up to this point between the promos and now. It is one of the most fashionable looks I've seen on Drag Race in a hot second in terms of like the styling, the presentation. I do agree that I wish she had either worn like a clear shoe or just like a sleek white pump. I think that would have been really, really cute, really nice. The silver shoe is not my favorite. Jesus Christ. This look, outside of the shoe choice, was perfection. Definitely giving her a slay. And there we have it. That is a wrap on Drag Race Belgique for this episode. So of course, now it comes down to the time that everyone I know is so excited about when we pick our slay of the day. My favorite look of the week that will be going into a post-crowning ranking video to determine the slay of the season, which I will then make a full illustration of. And I mean, come on, there's no other option this week but Lulu Velvet. Gotta give slay of the day to her. This look, immaculate. My favorite look so far this season. I know we are only on episode 2, so it does not take a lot to clear that bar. I had kind of discounted her a bit, and so now this look has made me excited for what she's going to do next. So I cannot wait to see what other looks Miss Velvet is going to be bringing to the runway. As always, if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be among the first to know every time a new video drops. I've got even more Persona 3 Reload videos coming. We are like a fifth of the way through the game, so get used to it if you're not a fan of it, because we've got even more coming. We've got Drag Race UK versus the World starting up, and we've got Season 16 ongoing. So we are going to be very, very busy, and you can expect now 4 Very Slay episodes each and every week until España and Belgique are over. And then after that, I don't know what we'll do. I'm sure by then we'll have another international season to throw into the pipeline, but hopefully if we can get it down to 2, that would be nice for like a couple weeks. Maybe we'll go back and revisit like an old season. We'll do a Very Slay retro edition. How do we feel about that, y'all? Okie dokie, it's been a long day for me. This is my 4th day in drag in a row, and I've got 2 more ahead of me, and I'm very, very exhausted and very, very tired, and I have video editing to do immediately after I get out of drag tonight, along with some art and God knows what else. So I'm gonna keep it nice and tight here. We will see you all whenever we see you. Until next time, y'all, stay kind, stay queer, and make sure that your day is very slay.